So if you're new to me, welcome to me. I'm Jackie D, Jackie Dorman, and I am your host for this Summer of Love Challenge. I'm also the founder of Last Year Single. That is my program for marriage-minded Christian singles, and we have helped over 1,600, come on, 1,600 people get engaged and married in the last 4.5 years. This October, on the 26th, we're actually throwing a big 5-year celebration of Last Year Single. All kinds of success stories will be coming to that party here in Austin, Texas. You can register for that party. Even if you haven't gone through our program, you just want to be around a bunch of people that are celebrating love, you want to have a bunch of fun. Let me tell you what, I know how to have fun. Okay, if you want to do that, you can go over to my website, jackiedorman.com, look under the events, and you can find all kinds of events with me, Jackie D. You can come to my book launch party. I have a new book coming out. Let me just make a little promo. It's actually going to be available in pre-sale in about a week and a half. It's called Modern Dating Sucks. This is just a sample copy. That's why there's this little bar in the middle. Modern Dating Sucks. It says a matchmaker's guide to finding love in a swipe left world. If you're exhausted by dating apps, if you're exhausted by modern dating, if your heart cries out for something easier and for simpler times, you're going to be blessed. You're going to be blessed not only by this book, but by all the different things that are going to be surrounding this book, including in-person gatherings, community-based matchmaking opportunities. That is what we do in Last Year Single. If you've ever wondered, hey, what is Last Year Single all about? It's about getting your heart prepared to receive love, making space in your life, in your spirit for love, getting your hope back up to where it needs to be able to believe in love, and then stepping into love. That's what it's all about. And we're going to talk more about that over the next 3 days. But I want to give you an opportunity to join Last Year Single. The reason why is because a lot of you are repeat offenders. You have been to these challenges many times and you're still just sitting on the fence. And so I really want to encourage you. There's 4 months left in 2025, and there isn't any reason why you can't end this year with a love story. There's no reason why you can't step into some sort of marriage-minded relationship before the end of the year. Now, I'm not saying y'all should get married before the end of the year, although some of you will. Some people, they've done enough prep work that when they meet the person, they can accelerate into that level of relationship. It happens. From the moment that I said hello, well, I didn't really say hello. I'll tell you a little bit about my story for those of you that haven't heard it, but 18 years ago, because I've been married for 18 years, in April of 2007, from the moment that I met my next door neighbor, who is now my husband, and to the moment that I married him was only 8 months. Only 8 months. There's 2 types of relationships that happen too fast or fast. One type is undeniably toxic, and the other type is undeniably supernatural. We definitely want you to be the second type, and we will help you unpack all the information and make sure that you are the second kind if you feel like you're going really fast in a relationship, okay? We'll be here to be part of that God defense system. All right, I'd love to see where you guys are watching from. If you guys go ahead and put your city and state up in the chat, I'd love to see who you are and where you are. I see Switzerland is here. Switzerland is watching. I see Georgia is watching. Who else is here? North Carolina, New York, California, Maryland, all kinds of people. Lots of Georgia. We got Ecuador here. What the heck? Ecuador. Hey, I'm going to have to look that up on a map after I get off here because I'm geographically challenged. I'm not really quite sure where that is. It's like in the middle, right? The equator, Ecuador, is it in the middle? I don't know. I have no idea. But it makes sense to me right now, so hopefully that's true. Guys, I know about love. I just don't know about geography. And so you're going to have to figure out how long is too far away, how far is too far away for long-distance relationship, because geography and I think I skipped that. I think that's 11th grade, right? 11th grade. Yeah, I don't remember much of 11th grade, so... Dominican Republic is here. Florida is here. All right, so what I said before about you guys being repeat offenders, there are so many of you that have been just hanging out in here hoping for, I don't know what, a lightning bolt from heaven. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link right now to join last year's single program, because you guys know enough about it to be dangerous, and it's time for you to join. Especially since we're having a 5 years of love anniversary special, and the program is on sale for $197 to start. It's usually $497, that's $300 off. $497 is already a really great deal, and $197 is a steal. And so make sure that you join that, because that special is going to end in September. And so we want to make sure that you guys get in while the getting is good. So $197 to join. That is our 5-year anniversary special that is going on now. I want you to stay until the end of today's teaching, today's shenanigans, because I will be giving away prizes. I will be giving away prizes and surprises. And so make sure that you stay all the way till the end. We got South America. We got a lot of the nations in here today. That's super cool. We have Switzerland, we have Ecuador, we have South America. Awesome. You know, God wants to bring breakthrough to this area, not just to Americans, but not just to Canadians. Those are the two major groups that we've had in this program, but to people in the nations. He wants to break us free from all of the things that have been holding us back from being able to step into the partnerships that he's always had for us. And so let's make sure that we remember that God's not going to leave us out just because we're not Americans. I know it feels like a lot of fun stuff is happening over here in America, and especially in the area of ministry. I know I hear from a lot of people in other countries like, hey, we just don't have that where I am. We don't have that where I live. That's an American thing. Okay, but there are some things that are American things that you should be glad that you're missing out on, okay? And one of those things is dating apps. I know that a lot of other countries don't have a lot of access to dating apps, and you're not missing out on that, because that is the wild, wild west. And a lot of people wish that they didn't have access to that. And so this last year single community, it is global. We have had success stories in every country that I can think of. We've had success stories in Africa. We've had success stories in Australia. We've had success stories on all the 7 continents. Okay, in Europe, in North America, and South America, we've had all the success stories. And so just because we don't have huge communities in your nation yet doesn't mean that you're not the catalyst for even more people from your nation coming and joining our family. All right. So friends, I just want to let you know first and foremost that it's not too late for your love story. I posted about Taylor Swift on my Instagram. For those of you that didn't hear the news, she got engaged. I posted something about that, like 5 lessons that you should learn from Taylor Swift's engagement, and people popped off. First of all, people are so religious. Like, I'm not going to learn anything from Taylor Swift's engagement. Okay, fine. Then just scroll on by. Just scroll on by. But here's what we can learn. I wasn't saying that you should use her as a role model for love. What I am saying is that her engagement proves 2 things. And I just want to say that because this is current pop culture, and I want to say this. The first thing that it proves is that even if you make wrong decisions and you choose wrong people, it doesn't mean you don't have a love story. The very first thing that I wanted to do by putting up that post is help people to be encouraged and receive grace and hope for their love story, even if, like Taylor, they were running plays out of the wrong playbook. See what I did there with the football thing? They were running plays out of the wrong playbook. They were picking the wrong people. Taylor, if we want to look at her history, she has a history of choosing people that are like her, people that are artists, people that are creatives, people that are HSPs, which I call highly sensitive people. Like all the dudes, Orlando Bloom and John Mayer and that other guy and that other guy. They all had one thing in common. They were all probably Enneagram 4s just like her. And that wasn't working out, was it? Okay, no one was really actually doing the work. Everyone was writing songs about the work. Everyone was making movies about the work. They weren't doing the work. And what happened, if you watch Taylor over the years, because I love to study people, I love to study relationships, and for those of you that can't learn anything if it's not some Christian person, then you're missing out, because there's a lot to learn from this woman's journey. And one of the things that we can learn from her journey is that she was really not in her feminine for a lot of those relationships. It was causing her to have to show up in an energy that was not feminine, right? She's trying to figure things out. She's trying to decipher messages. She's trying to, anxiously attach. She's trying to do all these things that made her really in a toxically needy way. She wasn't showing up confident as a woman in her feminine. She wasn't showing up to be chosen, right? She was showing up to be picked. Pick me, girl. Pick me, pick me, pick me. And we don't want that energy. And some of you guys have that as well. And you're not really with any man that's truly masculine when you're in that. But now you see her in this relationship. And of course, this guy is overtly different than any man that we've ever seen her publicly date, right? But one thing that is really different is that he seems pretty comfortable in the masculine. He seems pretty comfortable making decisions and, not being afraid of choosing or being wishy-washy. He seems really comfortable celebrating a very famous partner, right? She's very famous and, not being even the least bit, of course, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but not seemingly to be the least bit intimidated by that, but being supportive, being the biggest cheerleader, all the things. And what is that allowing Taylor to do? That's allowing her to kind of rest in the peace and safety of this relationship. How do I know? Well, there's no crazy songs that have come out about it, right? All the songs have the same theme. I'm trying to get you to love me, but you don't. And now because you don't, I'm angry and mad. And because it's happened to me so many times, lather, rinse, repeat, now my give a darn is busted. And I just think all men are like, this is what happens to us. If we have the same type of experience over and over and over and over and over again, then you're probably going to think that it's just men in general instead of looking at the common denominator, which is you. So I personally, I'm an expert relationship coach, and I personally can look at that relationship and I can see a lot of green flags. I can see a lot of about your person when you meet them is they're going to bring out positive change in you. I see a lot of positive change in Taylor since she's been dating Travis, no matter what you think of him or her. And so those are the 5 lessons that we could learn roundabout. You can go read it yourself. It's on my Instagram, Jackie Dorman Official. Jackie Dorman Official is where you can find all of my social media, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And I put up all kinds of success stories on Instagram. And so if you need a shot in the arm of hope that, hey, this is happening, then go and look. This isn't hype. I know there's a lot of relationship coaches, dating coaches, even matchmakers out there that have 1 or 2 success stories under their belt. I had 15 before I even started this movement, and now I have almost 2,000. You do the math, okay? It's very supernatural. And if you want to see those people's faces, then go ahead and go over to Instagram and check out the highlight reels there, okay? All right. So we have 4 months left in the year, more than enough time for a love story. I'd love to see you jump in here, especially if you're one of the people that are watching that this is not your first rodeo. You've come to challenge before, and you felt challenged. And what you did is you ran out, you tried to DIY it, you tried to do it yourself, and it didn't work out. And now you're right back here watching me again. Let's go ahead and move the needle forward, shall we? You're not going to do this on your own. If you were going to do it on your own, you would have already done it on your own. There's a reason why you're stuck, and I'd love to help you get to the bottom of that. All right, so we want to end this year different than we started it. We started 2025 single. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were in a relationship, and somewhere in the course of the last 8-9 months of this year, you have figured out that that was not the relationship for you. Hopefully you learned a few things about yourself in the process, but now you're single again and you're ready to take what you've learned and apply it to a relationship that's going to go all the way across the finish line. Or maybe you showed up to this year single and you haven't really had any good prospects all year. Well, I want to help change that. I do. I wanted to break us out of cycles. Whatever that cycle is that you don't want to be in, that is what we do in Last Year Single. In our first phase, we call it heart work, we help you break past the cycles that you don't want to be in, the patterns that you're stuck in. We help expose blind spots and filters and all different types of things that pertain specifically to your love life. That's what makes it different than probably any inner healing or anything that you've done before. It is going to really hone in on and shoot the bullseye to relationships and where those things are falling off in your life. Okay. I want to ask you a question that was asked to me before I got divorced. Some of you are divorced. Some of you don't believe in divorce. I didn't believe in divorce either. In fact, it was the last thing that I ever wanted to do. I'd seen so many people be divorced. Everyone in my family was divorced. And I said, when I get married, I'm never going to be divorced. Well, let's be careful with our never will I evers, because that might actually keep you in an unsafe and abusive situation, which is my story. Because I didn't want to be divorced, I was going to stay until it killed me. And guess what? It almost did. But God. So my divorce wasn't a real divorce. It was a rescue mission of sorts, where God had to get me out of the idea that this was complete failure. He had to get me out of the idea that this was unpardonable sin, divorce, right? That it's something I can't come back from, that it's something that I'm going to lose out on all of his goodness and his promises if I actually go through with it. I had to break out of all those lies because I believed them. And it was keeping me stuck, and it was keeping me stuck in a place that was very unsafe for me, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, financially. I was in and out of the emergency room, not because I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I wasn't getting beat. I wasn't getting abused physically, but I was deteriorating all the same because of the neglect, because of the lack of empathy, because of the lack of support, because of the mental health crisis that I continually found myself in because of all of those things. And the good news is that on the other side of those divorce papers, I began to heal, because oftentimes you cannot heal in the same environment that's making you sick. And God knew that, and he knew me. And so he pulled me up out of there because he knew I wasn't going to be able to do it on my own. And that's just a little soundbite for those of you that are divorced. I want you to know, if you come into last year single, we know who you are. We know what you've been through, because we've been through it too. And we can help you heal in ways that you haven't even known you needed healing, in ways that are going to prepare you to be able to partner again, to prepare you to be able to trust again. You're going to just trust. Run into all kinds of barriers and blocks once you meet someone that you want to trust, someone that you want to let in. It's going to be harder than you think to let down the walls that you don't even really know are still there, because they're invisible to you because you're not in a romantic relationship. The only thing that's going to really bring that stuff out from the hidden to the seen, to the surface, is going to be the threat of intimacy. And I don't mean sex. I mean, into me you see. When you start wanting someone to breach the perimeter, when you want to let down the drawbridge and let them cross over your alligator moat to come deeper into relationship with you, that is when you're going to have all the fears pop up. That's when you're going to see all the heart wounds coming to the surface. And oftentimes people cut and run right about there because they think, oh, this isn't the right one. They reframe it differently than it really is. They tell themselves, oh, this isn't the right person, or if this was the right person, I wouldn't feel this way. If God's blessing was on this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G would be happening. And because that's not happening, then God must not want me with this person. And then because you believe that, you're going to start manifesting it. You're going to start having soul dreams, not spirit dreams, about this person, them cheating on you, or about, whatever it is that you're afraid of. You're going to start to have soulish dreams. You're going to start to see signs, places that, because it's in the top of your mind, because you already believe it, you're thinking about it. And because you're thinking about it, you're going to see things that reinforce it, right? You're going to see words. Like you're going to go, God, I need a sign. I need a sign of whether or not Chad's the right person for me. If he's not the right person for me, God, then I just want to break up with him. And then you're driving along and you look up and you see a sign that says Trevor, like a street sign. You're like, oh my God, my real husband's name is Trevor. That's who I need to wait for. Trevor's out there someplace and he's looking for me. No, friend, What's happening is that you are panicked and paranoid, and you are praying soulish prayers, not spirit-led prayers, and you're getting soulish answers. And it's not like those things are actually answers, but you're making them answers because it's the top of your mind, you're thinking about it, and you're taking in the information and you're processing it in the wrong way. I want to help you not do that. And you're like, Jackie, that's ridiculous. Who would do that? So many people. So many people, they get into a fight or flight response in relationship because of unhealed stuff in their own hearts, and then they start thinking all kinds of stuff. They do. And a lot of times this sabotages the relationship and it causes it not to be able to go forward. So I want to help you. I want to help you. Let me, help me help you. Okay? Help me help you. I want to do that. For those who think you go sit in some real waiting room and God's just going to deliver your man, he's just going to deliver him like Amazon Prime. I just want to let you know that that's not the way it's going to work. You got to get in this car and you got to drive it. The Bible says that God will order our steps when we make a plan. And so last year's single is a plan. It's a whole plan. So the first plan is heart work. And then the second plan is your love story accelerator, where we hold your hand through all these dating experiences with coaching, with continuing education, with all kinds of amazing curriculum that you can go through at your own pace, and then live coachings every week that you can watch and replay if you can't be there live, that continue to make sure that you do not cut and run from something good, and help you step into relationships and help you, first of all, find out where are the people that are relationship minded. Let me go there so that I can meet them. And then after I meet them, what do I do next? It's going to help you with all of that. And while you're in the program, you have the opportunity to join my VIP community. It's a subscription community. And if you join right now, you're going to get the program for $197, regularly $497. And then you're going to automatically get access to the VIP community where Ask Jackie happens, where single spotlights happen, where I do community-based matchmaking with men and women. It's a co-ed community because we have a men's program, and it's only $37 a month, cancel anytime. So you're going to be grandfathered into that. We don't usually put those things together. We've only been selling the program by itself for $497, but right now on special for our anniversary, $197 for the program, and then $37 a month to go ahead and be in that VIP community. All right? And so that is going to help you get unstuck and get moving forward in all the ways, in the spiritual ways and in the practical ways, which are really important. Some people just deal with spiritual things, and that's great, but that's going to have you sitting over here in the proverbial waiting room, waiting for your person to show up, waiting for the person God has chosen for you to show up. Okay, God gave you free will. You get to do the choosing. God's going to help you to be in the right place at the right time with the right heart, but you still are the one that needs to be doing the choosing. That's really important. And so too much spiritual stuff, that's where you're going to end up. Too much practical stuff, you're going to be out here with your hair on fire, trying to swipe for an hour a day, trying to go through all the logistics of what it looks like to try to use all the dating tools to meet someone, but your heart is still messed up and it can't receive. So one of these without the other doesn't work, but both of them together is the Last Year Single program. We want to follow after the Spirit, but when the Spirit takes us to a certain place, we want to be able to know what to do in ourself or in our flesh, so to speak. That's really important stuff. So waiting doesn't make you more ready, friends. I know that a lot of you have been waiting for a long time and that's your biggest complaint. You're like, but I've been waiting forever, Jackie. I don't want to have to do another program because I've been waiting. It's my turn. It's my turn. I get it. Yes, I believe it's your turn as well. I believe it's always been your turn. God's not holding out on you. The problem is the waiting wasn't preparing you. Waiting doesn't make you ready. It actually makes you weary. And that's what's wrong now. You've lost a lot of your hope because it didn't happen when you thought it was going to happen. You have all kinds of words from the Lord that haven't come to pass. They haven't come true. And the reason why is because that word was an invitation. That prophecy was an invitation for you to put feet on it and walk it out. You're not supposed to just go and sit with it somewhere. You're supposed to prepare for it. The proof of belief is action. My favorite quote, and I don't care who it's by. Some people get offended because it's by Nelson Mandela. I don't care. Wisdom is wisdom, no matter where it comes from. And my favorite quote is that you will never prepare for what you secretly believe is not going to happen. You will never prepare for what you secretly believe is not going to happen. That means you don't even have to consciously know that you don't believe it. Your heart may be secretly believing that it's not going to happen. Your hope level may be so low in that area that your head, positive mental attitude, is out here trying to make it happen, but your heart doesn't believe it's going to happen, and so you're not really preparing for it. And so I want to help you get prepared. I want to help you stop believing that this can't happen for you, because it's going to happen for someone. So why can't it be you? And I really want you to answer that question. I believe in prophetic question asking. It's going to happen for somebody today. Today, someone is going to meet their future husband or wife today. Okay? Why can't it be you? I'm not saying they're going to marry them today. They're just going to cross paths with them today. They're just going to have a divine appointment with them today. Not tomorrow, today. There's still, I don't know, 8 waking hours left in today for me. They're going to meet them somewhere. They may not know that they met them, romantic with them yet, but they're going to meet them. And so why can't it be you? Ask yourself that question right now. Just take 2 seconds. Ask myself. Me asking myself, why can't it be me? Why not? And whatever the answer is that comes to you after you ask that question, that's what we got to deal with. The things that are keeping you from believing that this can happen to you at any moment. All right, so we do not want to stay in the old patterns, right? Because every day that we stay in the old patterns is a day that we are not going to move closer to whatever it is that we're dreaming about and hoping for and praying for. Every day that we stay stuck in these patterns, we stay blind to our spots. Every day are days that we're not moving forward towards the thing that God has for us. Netflix binging, swiping on dating apps, all the stuff that we do to medicate this longing is not going to get us any closer to our person. They're not. We have to shift our approach. It's time to do that. All right, so I have so many students that took action. I have so many students. I was going to tell a story now of just about someone who took action, and there's just so many to choose from. So many people that probably have a story very similar to you. They had been, not successful in love. They have always been broken up with, or maybe never even made it to girlfriend or boyfriend status, and they had just really given up. So many people that had never really been on an official date in their entire life. Do you know how many amazing men and women I have had come through this program that had never even been on an official date in their entire lives? No one had either said yes to them for an official date if they were a man, or they had never been asked on an official date if they were a woman. Yeah, they had hung around with the opposite sex. Hangouts are not dates. But as soon as it got to a place where it was like, hey, are we going to do this? Are we going to actually go on a date? Are we going to put a romantic emphasis on a potential that we're both feeling? It never got that far. And I have helped so many people go on their first dates and last dates. Go on their first dates that turn into last dates eventually. And I really want to help you do that if you feel like this area of your life has just never gotten off the runway. You're like, Jackie, it has never gotten even 1 inch of air, 1 inch off the runway. It's just sitting. I'm just sitting on the runway. Anyone else ever been on a plane where you think you're about to take off and the plane taxis to the runway and your seat belt is buckled and you got your earphones on and you're just ready to relax or watch a movie because we're about to take off, and then you keep sitting there and you keep sitting there and you keep sitting there and you keep sitting there, like, what the heck? And then there's some voice over the loudspeaker that says, sorry for the delay, folks. There's this or that going on. It's going to be 5 more minutes, and there's 10 minutes, and there's 20 minutes, and 30 minutes. And then you're like, are we ever going to take off? What's happening? Some of you feel like that about your love lives. You've gotten so close to something really being real, and then grounded, not taking off, not going anywhere. You've gotten just so excited, all of your hopes sky high, only to be dashed. And the problem with that is that creates an environment in our heart where we no longer want to get excited about any kind of connection. We no longer want to get our hopes up because we don't want to be disappointed anymore. And if you're living in that space, I want to help you. You can borrow my hope until your hope is returned, because you need hope for this. Because without hope and take any action, you're just going to sit on that runway. You're not even going to try to take off. All of us have heard this about the large animals like that were chained during their childhood, and then when they in their adulthood, even though the chain was no longer there, they still wouldn't go out of the perimeter of where they were chained originally. We have those stories. And those stories are told for a reason. The reason is this: where you have become accustomed to is where you're going to stay unless there's a shift. Whatever you believe about yourself because of past experiences and circumstances, you're not going to venture past that point unless there's a shift in. Are all about programming. And so heart work, the first phase of Last Year Single, is where we deal with programming. We deal with set limits. You've never made it past this place. Maybe you've never been on a date, or maybe you've never been asked to be a girlfriend or boyfriend. Gentlemen, you're the ones that should be asking. So you've never asked a woman to be your girlfriend, or ladies, you've never been asked to be a girlfriend. Like, you've never made it. You're like, the heck with marriage, Jackie. I just want to be a girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm just trying to get to that first phase. Yeah, being married would be nice, but I'd like to actually be a girlfriend or a boyfriend first. That would be awesome if I could make it to that point. Well, yeah, all right. So that's your watermark. You've never made it past. Other people have been girlfriends and boyfriends, but they've never been able to make it to super exclusive relationship, marriage-minded relationship. They've never been able to make it past 2 months of exclusivity, or 3 months, or 6 months, or 1 year of exclusivity. They've never been able to get past what we call level 3 relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend exclusivity, to engagement. They've never, every time something happens, they get broken up with, or they have to break up with the person for whatever reason, they never get past here. And some of you have made it all the way past there to marriage, but you either lost your spouse, maybe it was a good marriage, and they went on to heaven to their next assignment, and now you're like, hey, is my love story over? I had a love story, but does that mean I don't get another one? No, it doesn't mean that. You're alive on the earth, and if you need a partner for your assignment, then you need a partner, okay? And so there's more partners to be had. There's more love stories to be had for you. And then some of you, it ended in divorce. Like, your watermark is that you've never been in a healthy relationship. In your entire life, you've never been in a healthy relationship. You probably maybe not even seen a healthy relationship, because you come from a long line of broken hearts and broken relationships and broken covenants and all the things. And so that's your watermark. Whatever your watermark is, we want to help you get past it. I had a lot of set points. I had a lot of limitations. I had a lot of bad programming. And guess what? I deal with some of it still. But little by little, I get shifts and I get breakthroughs. But when it comes to marriage, I've had a big breakthrough. Yeah, I was married before and I was divorced 12 years in. But I've been married this time around for 18 years. And I can tell you why, while it's not a perfect marriage, because there's no such thing, it is a good marriage, and it is a supportive marriage. And it's a marriage where both of us are thriving and becoming better and better and better versions of ourselves. And that's what you want out of marriage. And that's also what we do in Last Year Single. We help you get rid of all your unrealistic expectations of what this other person should be or have in order for you to partner with them. We help you get rid of all your unrealistic expectations about what it needs to look like. It doesn't need to be easy. It just needs to be worth it. We want to help you get rid of your religious ideas. A lot of you are going to get stuck. Your set mark is religious OCD, which turns into relationship OCD. You constantly have obsessive and intrusive thoughts about this not being the right one, or God not being happy with it, or God has something better for you than this person. Even though there's nothing wrong with this person and they love God and everything's good, but something better for you, something better for your assignment. This person can't partner with your assignment. They're not called to the same things you're called to. You guys, all of that is religious rhetoric, okay? All of it is religious rhetoric. It is. It's stuff that you've been programmed to believe by little sound bites during preaching and teachings of all the different sermons that you've been listening to. That's another problem. We have access, right? We live in a place of access, in an information age where we're just scrolling and we're watching all kinds of things and listening to all kinds of things. Those people are not your teachers. They're not your pastors. They're not. And the only reason that you saw their sermon in the first place is because you're just mindlessly scrolling on the internet, clicking on stuff. You weren't divinely led to that sermon. And guess what? Now that sermon, because you listened to it, is causing you to zig instead of zag. It's not something for the season of life that you're in. That is not the place where you're holding yourself accountable to spiritual mentorship and community. You don't even know this person, but you're just scrolling and listening and looking. Yeah, I think that preaching is good. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. Wonderful. But not everything is a lesson or a teaching for your season or where you are. One of the biggest blocks that I see people have in their lives, not just their love lives, but in their lives, is just listening to random spiritual voices. Just random spiritual voices. God might be trying to get you to do something very specific. Like, here's an example. Perhaps you're in a building season. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to take imperfect action. It's time for you to trust the Lord and put the car in gear and let him guide you. Make a plan and let him order your steps. But one day you're just scrolling and you hear some preacher who's gifted. Okay, they're gifted speakers and they're talking about it's a time to rest. The door is in the floor, right? Stop striving, stop trying, stop promoting yourself through, putting yourself out there or whatever. Like, you need to just be still and let God. That's not a message for you. But you heard it, and just because it's biblically backed, because there were some Bible verses, I'm not saying it's not a message for anybody, but it's not a message for you. But now you've heard it. And what's it going to cause? Confusion. And guess who does not author confusion? God. Right? We live in an information age. We live in a digital age. Now we live in an AI age where we don't even know what's real and what's not real. And the problem with all that is that when we are online, which most of us are all the time, we're taking in information that's actually blocking instructions from the Lord. It's actually blocking the season that we're in and the action that we need to take, because now we're in confusion. And if you don't think that you're taking that stuff in, you are. Even if you're not paying attention to it, it's still getting in there. And then it's causing us to feel like, I don't know what to do now. And so what you need to do is you need to come away, clear the slate, and then allow Holy Spirit to lead you to what it is that you need to hear and what it is that you need to know in the season that you're in. And I believe that one of the voices that is pertinent in your life right now is my voice. I believe that you've been divinely led to this group. I don't think that you came here by yourself. I think you came here, and I think that the Lord has words of life for you here. And so I really want you to listen and take in what God wants you to hear during this challenge, and then ask Holy Spirit to help you to implement it, whatever that is. All of you are here to hear something different, but whatever that is, I want you to receive it and take action on it so that you can see fruit from it. Amen? Amen. All right. So we want to take action. There's so many of my students that finally took action on the things that they needed to do. For some of you, it's counterintuitive. It's not about getting off or on the apps. It's not about getting out more and meeting people. Yeah, those are all ways to meet the opposite sex. But for you, the action that you need to take is you need to cut some relationships off. You need to do some pruning. Some of you, the action that you need to take is you need to get your health in order, because your body can't sustain a love story. You can meet your person today, but it wouldn't matter because you're dealing with all kinds of health issues. That's taken up all your capacity. And maybe you're not dealing with the health issues yet, but they're on the horizon because you've not been taking care of your body. You haven't been. You eat trash, all right? You're like a little trash panda. Those are called raccoons. You're like a little trash panda out here. You're eating trash, right? It's not even real food, but you're still eating it because you like it, because you're addicted to the chemicals in it. You have a weight issue. Your overweight is starting to affect you. When we're young, we can get away with a lot. But as we get older, we're carrying extra weight. It starts to cause health problems. It starts to cause digestive issues. It starts to cause hormone issues, thyroid issues, sugar issues. And so it doesn't even matter if you meet your person, because you're not going to be able to enjoy your person because you have all kinds of stuff going on. So that's the work that you need to do. And guess what? That still starts with heart work, our first phase. Because it's not fat, it's hurt. The reason why you're accumulating all of the fat on your body is because you got a broken heart. And you have to let God mend your heart so that you can start to be confident in yourself and in Him again. And then you're going to start making different decisions from there. That's why New Year's resolutions don't work. That's why just going to the gym doesn't work, because that is not the problem. You're trying to fix the fruit of the problem instead of dealing with the root of the problem. And so, same. So for some of you, it's financial issues that you have to take care of before you meet your spirit mate. That's the preparation that you need to take care of. You're deeply in debt. You got some messed up finances going on, and you got to get that together. You're like, Jackie, that's going to take years. No, it isn't. If you surrender that to the Lord during heart work, if you surrender that to the Lord and you ask him to help you to invade your finances, so to speak, he will. And if you start taking action instead of just, being on life support in that area, right? If you start to take action in that area, God will multiply your efforts and you can get out of debt even faster than you think you can. You might think it's going to take 5 years, but it might just take 5 months. You're never going to know until you try. You won't. And so for some of you, it's family stuff. You got to get some boundaries with your family before you get a spirit mate coming in the picture. Not that God's holding out on you. I believe that you're going to meet your spirit mate, but you might not recognize them. You might not see the love right in front of you because you still got all kinds of filters on. But even if you do meet them, what about this messed up stuff with your family? It's driving you crazy. Don't you think it's going to drive them crazy too? Do you think that family issues and poor boundaries with family could actually end a promising relationship? It certainly can. And many, many relationships have ended because of people's families. Did you guys know that? That many promising relationships have ended because of people's families, because of their lack of boundaries with their families, that have ended because of lack of boundaries with their minor children that are still in the home and all their behavior problems, or their former spouses because of money issues and debt issues. Money is a big killer of relationship. Because of someone's insecurities and their own heart work that they haven't done. All of these things kill relationship. And so friends, why not get it taken care of now? Because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Doesn't it make more sense to diffuse these bombs before they go off and blow up your life? Let's do it. Let's do it together. So I'm inviting you into this time with me in the Last Year Single program. This is our last challenge of the summer. We do have that special going on, $300 off, $197 to start, and then you automatically get grandfathered into $37 a month for that VIP community. Now, you won't be able to go right into that VIP community because you got to finish your heart work first. That's one thing that we do in our program that other people don't do. We try to vet people out as best we can. Before they go into co-ed community, we want to make sure that they're as healthy as we can get them. That heart work is going to take you anywhere from 5 to however many weeks. It's designed to take 5 weeks, but depending on your busy schedule and you prioritizing it, a lot of people ask, how many hours a week do I need to dedicate to the heart work phase? I say about 6 hours a week. And that's if you come to any of the live teachings or watch the replay of the live teachings. About 6 hours a week you're going to dedicate for those 5 weeks. And guess what? If you can't have 6 hours a week that you're going to invest in your future relationship, then you certainly don't have 6 hours a week to invest in a relationship. A relationship's going to take you a whole lot longer than 6 hours a week. And that's another thing that you learn in this program is, do I have space? Do I have capacity? Do I have bandwidth for a relationship? And I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. But first, on this first day of the challenge, I want to give away a prize. Drum roll. You're watching live, and because you're watching live, you are going to win a prize. Win prize. I'm waiting for my team to tell me the winner chicken dinner. Winner chicken dinner. So friends, heart healing, strategy within Last Year Single, strategy. Nothing's working, Jackie. Okay, let's get a supernatural strategy that's tailor-made to you and your life. Community full of supportive people. We have daily prayer available to you, replays and all the important sessions if you can't make it there live. We have Supernatural Saturday with me. You're going to definitely want to hear that. In fact, we're going to talk about capacity on Supernatural Saturday as well this week because it's going to be a good one. We're also going to talk about being God-defended over self-defended. Some of you got to let down your walls to let good people in. Yes, walls don't even keep out the wolves. They don't. They don't keep out the bad people, but they do keep out the good people. And we'll talk more about that during this challenge as well. Our winner is Elena Leiva, Leiva. Elena, you are a winner. Please email admin@jackiedorman.com to claim your prize. Friends, I have all kinds of fun things to give away. Elena won a gift card, but also I'm going to give away some premium subscriptions to a dating app that I'm partnered with. That means you don't have to pay for the good stuff on that. And I only want to give that to someone who is going to use it wisely. I may not actually give that away in here. I may actually give that away somewhere else. I have like 5 of those to give away. I have other prizes. I have merch. We have merch now at Last Year Single. So we have all kinds of fun things. And pre-sale on Modern Dating Sucks is going to start in about a week and a half. And so be watching for that in your emails. Make sure you've signed up for our emails. If you haven't, you can do that at jackiedorman.com. Just go to that freebie section. There's all kinds of opt-ins there for you to be able to sign up. If you've come to this challenge group because someone else, or maybe you're watching on YouTube and you've never opted in, you can go to the banner on the top of my jackiedorman.com website and you can opt in to the challenge there officially, and it will send you to a supportive private Facebook group for men or women, depending on which you are, and then you can also be on our email list when you opt in. Sound good? All right, friends. Okay, thank you for joining me. This has been day 1, and I will see you in that private Facebook group for some after hours fun. See you soon. Bye.